Yaron 28, and Sarah Lynn Milgram, 26, were more than just names in a news headline. They were children of God, deeply loved and full of promise. They represented the best of what it means to be committed to both faith and service. Yaron was a veteran, having served 3 years in the Israeli military. He then pursued higher education, earning a master's degree in government and diplomatic strategy. Sarah was a dedicated member of the embassy's External Affairs Department, holding advanced degrees in international studies and sustainable development, with studies at the UN University for Peace and the University of Kansas. Their lives were dedicated to building bridges and fostering peace, particularly in the tumultuous Middle East. Their commitment wasn't just to their professional careers. It was deeply rooted in their faith. They were Messianic Jews, believers who embraced Jesus as the promised Messiah of Israel. This unique identity made them living testaments to God's continued work among His chosen people. And in a heartbreaking twist of fate, their personal lives were also about to reach a beautiful milestone. Yaron had already bought the engagement ring. They were planning to get engaged on a trip to Jerusalem just next week. The Israeli embassy confirmed their devastating loss in a statement. No words can express the pain and horror we feel at this news. We are broken and shattered by this loss. Israeli ambassador to the U.S., Yetchel Leiter, added, Yaron had bought the engagement ring and planned to propose to Sarah in Jerusalem. This is not just a statistic. It's a profound human tragedy. Two bright lights, extinguished by hate, before their full potential could be realized. The attack itself speaks volumes about the insidious nature of the hatred that motivated it. Yaron and Sarah were leaving an event hosted by the American Jewish Committee, AJC, at the Jewish Museum in Washington, D.C., a place meant for cultural exchange and remembrance. Their attacker, Elias Rodriguez, a 30-year-old Chicago resident, opened fire on the couple, then fled into the museum, where he was apprehended by security forces. When arrested, he chillingly shouted, "Free Palestine!" He is now in custody, facing multiple federal charges, including first-degree murder and the murder of foreign diplomatic officials. Authorities are unequivocally investigating this heinous act as terrorism and a hate crime. The FBI is meticulously reviewing the suspect's electronic devices and social media to uncover deeper motives and any connections to organized hate groups. This was not a random act of violence. It was a targeted, premeditated assault against individuals perceived as representing Israel and, by extension, the Jewish people. The suspect's words, "Free Palestine," twisted into a justification for violence, highlight the dangerous intersection of political fervor and ancient anti-Semitic hatred. It's a stark reminder that words of incitement, even seemingly political ones, can have deadly consequences. The murder of Yaron and Sarah sent shockwaves through the diplomatic community and beyond, prompting strong condemnations from international leaders. Israeli President Isaac Herzog stated, "We grieve with the victims' families. Terrorism and hatred will not defeat us." Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu powerfully denounced the act. "We are witnessing the bloody consequences of the anti-Semitic movement and the campaign to slander Israel. Slander always leads to death. We must fight to the end." From the United States, President Donald Trump added, "The horrific murders in Washington are clearly anti-Semitic. Hate and extremism have no place on American soil. My deepest condolences to the victims' families." Israeli Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar issued a dire warning, emphasizing the dangerous connection. There is a direct link between the anti-Israel campaign and anti-Semitic incitement, not only from extremist groups but also from international leaders and organizations, especially in Europe. These statements underscore a chilling reality. This attack isn't an isolated incident. It's part of a broader, deeply concerning global pattern. From university campuses to city streets, we are witnessing a terrifying resurgence of anti-Semitism, often cloaked under the guise of anti-Zionism or Palestinian liberation. But when it leads to the murder of innocent Jewish people, it exposes its true, hateful nature. The Jewish people are God's chosen people. Despite millennia of exile, dispersion, and enduring unimaginable contempt and persecution, they persist a living testament to God's eternal promises. As Isaiah 49:6b, Nev proclaims, "I will also make you a light for the Gentiles, that my salvation may reach to the ends of the earth." Today, the world is once again witnessing a rampant wave of anti-Semitism, often masked by political slogans like liberation, but resulting in tragedy and sorrow. And behind this tragedy, we trust that God can still use every circumstance to soften many hearts and ignite hope for an entire nation. Their lives and their untimely deaths highlight the prophetic reality of our times. The Bible tells us that in the last days, Jerusalem will be a cup of trembling to all the surrounding peoples. Zechariah 12:2. As tensions rise, so too does the spiritual battle for the soul of nations, and the Jewish people remain at the center of God's redemptive plan. So, what does this mean for us, as followers of Jesus living in these times? 1. Pray for the victims' families. First and foremost, let us lift up the families of Yaron and Sarah Milgram. Pray for comfort, for peace that transcends understanding, and for justice. 2. Pray for peace in Israel and the Middle East. Pray for God's divine intervention, for wisdom for leaders, and for true, lasting peace based on His righteousness. 3. Pray for God's chosen people. Pray for the Jewish people globally, that despite the hatred they face, they would know God's everlasting love, protection, and provision. Pray for more to recognize Jesus as their Messiah. 4. Stand against anti-Semitism. Be informed. Speak out against all forms of hate, especially anti-Semitism, whenever and wherever you encounter it. Don't let political discourse become a shield for hatred. 5. Be spiritually discerning. Understand that evil often masquerades as good. Not every cause or movement, even those claiming to be for justice, aligns with biblical truth. 1 Timothy 4:1. Niv warns us. The Spirit clearly says that in later times some will abandon the faith and follow deceiving spirits and things taught by demons. 6. Be a light in the darkness. In a world filled with increasing hate, let us be instruments of God's love, truth, and grace. Be prepared to share the gospel, for it is the only true answer to the darkness of the human heart. Yaron and Sarah's lives were a testament to faith and service. Their deaths are a tragic call to action for all of us. Let us not be silent. Let us not be complacent. Let us stand firm in the truth of God's word, loving Him and loving our neighbors, even our enemies, and bravely shining His light in a world that desperately needs it. What are your thoughts on this tragic event? How do you think we, as believers, should respond to the rising tide of anti-Semitism? Share your prayers and perspectives in the comments below.